Okay, welcome back to Close Up on San Diego Business. I'm your host, Barry Waxler, here with the always lovely and talented Andrea Kay. And we have one of our first, well, let's just call her our new radio partner here, Michelle Tartre from Ives Insurance with us. Welcome, Michelle.
Hello, thank you very much.
Speaking of lovely and talented.
Yes, I know. I surround myself in that. That's a wonderful thing. Okay. So, nothing personal to our other guests here today. So, tell us a little bit about, you're with Ives Insurance, correct?
Yes, we are.
Tell us a little bit about what Ives does.
So we are an independent insurance agency. My grandfather started the agency over 60 years ago. And basically, we represent many different companies and different lines of insurance business.
Okay, well, when you say insurance business, because I've been around the industry for a long time, let's get a little more specific. What type of insurance do you do?
So we do property and casualty, so anywhere from your home and your auto insurance to business insurance, so workers' compensation, general liability, commercial property, commercial auto.
Okay, so you work with small business owners?
Yes.
Good. That's what we like to work with.
That's the core of our business.
So is there any specific industries that you specialize in?
You know, we specialize a lot in commercial property, so commercial buildings, apartment buildings. We do a lot of workers' compensation these days with these rates rising. We've been seeing a lot of that coming in. We work a lot with technology companies, auto body shops. I mean, it's a whole bunch of different. We like to work with all the local businesses, so it's a whole bunch of different businesses.
Right, and you'll do independent quotes for businesses and what have you. So,
yes.
Tell our listeners how they get in touch with you if they want to get any information directly from you. So
our website is usually the best way to get your information in there to get a free quote. It is www.ivesins, that's IVESINS.com.
Okay. And what about a phone number to get a hold of you?
You can reach us at 619-224-5337.
Okay. And we probably want to tell them to make sure to ask for you, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Michelle.
So, interesting. Any big changes coming down in the industry these days?
Well, like I said before, workers' compensation rates just seem to be going up every day. And so I think just the rates there seem to be one of the largest costs for business owners. So by implementing different things within the business, working with different HR attorneys and putting in safety incentive plans and finding different ways that actually can bring discounts onto your workers' compensation plans.
Well, that's great. I mean, I would have to think, being in business for a long time myself, that's not terribly common that companies know they can do certain things that brings their rates down.
Exactly. And a lot of times people will automatically think going to the state plan, state fund is what it's called, that's the kind of the easiest and fastest way to go. And there are so many different companies now that are program based. So different types of companies, whether you're, for example, auto body shop. If you're an auto body shop, there are certain safety incentive plans and ways to if you go to a program that specializes in the auto body shop and you have certain safety plans in place, you will get discounts off of those workers' comp rates. It's not a firm rate.
So what we want our listeners to know is if they have a company and they have workers' comp rates that are higher than they think they should be, or they want to have it looked at, they can come to you and you can give them different programs, different things to help get those rates down, and then show them where the rates are lower to begin with.
Yes. Okay. Like I said, we work with tons of different CPAs and HR attorneys that help us put those programs in place,
Great.
Which in turn bring the rates down.
Awesome. Well, we're going to get to a lot more of that a little later in the show. So, we were talking a little bit offline about some of the things. You know, it's interesting the guests that we have and how they tie things together, or how things tie together with the different guests. You know, I think about Ives Insurance and the restaurant technologies. I mean, there's a lot of different things that your business can tie in with them, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. You know, being around for so long, like I had said, we've been around for over 60 years, and we have relationships with over 200 different insurance companies. And each of these companies specialize in different types of businesses. And the restaurant industry especially is one that a lot of companies love to target. And there's so many different things within the restaurant industry. It's a hard industry to be in when you're starting a restaurant. And these insurance companies have come up with programs now where it's not just insurance that they're providing. They provide risk management. They provide different things to help keep the restaurant going. And with those extra things that are involved, it keeps rates down, which in turn helps the profitability of these guys. Because, bringing in a software like that, they need to be able to in the beginning find money to be able to pay for that software, and then eventually, like he was saying, their profits have gone up so much from the program, but being able to find a way to make sure that we're protecting the company,
right,
if heaven forbid someone were to create a lawsuit. But also, I think, especially with the restaurant industry, rates.
Well, yeah, it's funny because you were joking earlier. I don't remember what y'all were talking about. You said, anything with a sharp object. And I immediately thought of restaurants because there's knives in there. And, I worked as a server, to put myself through school, and people would slip and fall. I mean, it is a lawsuit as well as an injury, waiting to happen. And they really need good insurance.
Yeah. And, we're seeing, unfortunately, a lot of fraudulent lawsuits as well out there. So just to protect yourself from all different types of people that come through the restaurant industry, there's tons of turnover as well. Mm-hmm. So making sure that the workers' compensation is in place and they have good other safety features in place that can keep those rates down, and so those claims don't drive up the payout and what they're paying.
What else can a small business do to help paint the picture for the insurance company to get the rates down besides safety? There's got to be other things.
Yes, there's employee handbooks. I guess that goes into safety as well. Right. But just the procedures, training from the beginning. You're bringing in an employee. It's so easy for the smaller business owners. They don't necessarily have these very strict trainings that their employees go to. A lot of times these guys are growing, and they're growing really fast. They're going to throw an employee right in, and they're just going to, it's either sink or swim. And so training.
You know what I find interesting is, I go out on a lot of different calls with 401k enrollments and different types of group benefits, and I work with the companies in a lot of those areas. But rarely, if ever, do I see an employer invite somebody in, like yourself, to teach employees other ways to keep the business under better control. I would think that there's a great avenue to get you out there and talk to the employers and say, hey, this is not just about protecting the business, but it's also about protecting the employees, getting costs down and getting cost controls.
Yeah. You want to make sure your employees are happy at the end of the day. It's not only going to bring great customer service that everybody wants, but it's going to provide happiness in the workplace, which in turn is going to lower the claims, lower the angry people that are around. And it's so important that both the employer is happy, but the employees too. And they want to make sure that they feel appreciated. And by doing those little things, it all works together, and it'll all help the profitability of the company at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So you guys are really more consultants, really, than just somebody who says, here's a policy.
Yes, we don't, yes, we provide the rates, we provide the policies, we like to do all that, but we have a whole network of people that we like to bring in and to help out and to provide additional services to make the business go round. If it's growing, then we're happy too. That's what we want to see. We want to see our small guys grow bigger.
Yeah.
And
well, it used to be, you only had attorneys and accountants to be advisors. Now, the financial planners, the insurance agencies, everybody's got to be involved, to keep it under control. Yeah. So before we get too far gone, tell our listeners how they get in touch with you one more time.
Our website is www.ivesins, that is I, V as in Victor, ESINS.com, or you can give us a call at 619-224-5337. and ask for Michelle.
Ask for Michelle, and if you're down there in Liberty Station and you got a bazillion wonderful restaurants and stores down there, stop in and see you.
Yes, come see us. We'd love to say hello.
That's awesome. Any other markets? Anything that you work especially in? What markets are really strong for you today?
I would say a huge market that we write a ton of is commercial property, apartment buildings, rental properties. As the economy is improving, we're seeing more and more people purchase your duplexes all the way up to, we just wrote a 200-unit apartment complex the other day. And
that's a big complex.
It is a very big complex. And it's so important that those guys get insured properly. There's tons of different, it's not just your typical property policy. There's packages that are involved. Also workers' compensation. We specialize in transportation companies, your private ambulance companies, private transportation companies, limo companies, to name a few. Contractors, auto body shops. I can go on and on.
Pretty much any industry, sounds like.
Yeah. You're listening to Close Up on San Diego Business here on KCBQ. Streaming live on the web at am1170theanswer.com. And give us a tweet at CloseUpSD. Email me at barry@closeupsandiego.com or find our page on Facebook. We want to hear from you. I'm your host, Barry Waxler, here with my co-host, Andrea K.